Welcome to another episode of Fair Faithful Podcast. I'm Brandon Ferniel, joined by my co-host, Christian Dyer. Tough loss again for a second week in a row. What the hell happened, Christian?
I mean, a lot happened. I mean, to start off, I'm not too upset this time with the loss, just because having Trey come out and play kind of took away like the being angry about it. But I mean, what happened is the defense came out and played fantastic in the first half, and the offense just said, "Oh, sorry guys, sorry, it's not gonna happen."
Yeah.
I mean, we could have been up 28 to nothing. I mean, you hold Russell
easily.
Wilson to not one first down in the first 25 minutes of the game. And you have 7 points to show for it.
Yep.
And
also too is what I was gonna say is you start off freaking phenomenal, right? And you literally Jimmy G and the offense drive down the field, score a touchdown. Defense gets out there, looks phenomenal. You look at the scoring sheet, and what was it? I think it was end of the first quarter, right? Second quarter, it was like freaking the Niners already had 169 yards or whatever, and Seahawks only had a negative 8 total.
Yeah,
pass,
and it's 7, and it's only 7-0.
So I'm like, you're just like, what the hell? Yeah, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
There's no reason we shouldn't have had more points, and like, I didn't expect to win when Lance went in there. I think we have a better chance if Cannon doesn't fumble and give them an easy 7 points.
Twice. He fumbled twice, mind you.
Yeah, true. He did fumble twice. He muffed it and then fumbled it. And honestly,
yep.
I knew it was over once that happened. Like once we went down by 14, I knew it was over. It was nice to see like Trey make some things happen. And when we did go down 14 and we got that big touchdown, but then the defense couldn't make it stop and gives up another touchdown. But it's just frustrating though with that too, just because like the defense played great, but it's like when you see Nick Bosa not out there on certain plays.
Yep.
It's and you're wondering like why is he not out there, and then you see like where he should be. That's where the plays are happening. When like on that scramble that Russ scored the touchdown. Bosa wasn't in.
Well, as also too is what I was gonna say is going back on that fumble that we were talking about. I think we still could have been in that game if it wasn't for that fumble for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think that that took any chance we had away from winning the game. But I mean, it just the fact that we didn't like put him out in the first half and let him stay in it, and it was 7-7 going into halftime. I could just feel we weren't going to win the game regardless. I just had a feeling, even with like getting the change of quarterback that we wanted, I didn't see us winning the game, dude. Like,
yep.
It just, you don't dominate a team and then still go into halftime tied. That's just ridiculous. So it's just another game where we lose because it's Kyle's and Jimmy's fault.
Well, it's just like you try to figure out. You sit back and after that first series, you look back and you're just like, okay, what the hell went wrong from the first series all the way to the rest of the game? It didn't make sense. Like Seattle's defense is so horrible. Should be no reason that Jimmy still looks that bad. You know what I mean?
It's just Jimmy being Jimmy. I mean, missing wide open throws, throwing it too high and putting our receivers in, opportunities to get hurt. Did it to Debo.
Again.
Yeah, he did it to Debo. Does it to Kittle again. And then, or another, one where he just has straight noodle arm and can't hit on the flea flicker, can't hit Kittle, who's got four steps or so on Jamal Adams, and it would have been a touchdown if he could throw the ball with some actual
that's
velocity
on
it.
That's not all on Garoppolo though, because of what's his face, the running back.
Yeah, but when Garoppolo, by the time Garoppolo had the pass
back to him.
Yeah, but by the time he had the ball in his hands and could make the throw, Kittle was still open and he underthrows it. That's his fault. That's not, you can't blame the fact that he had a bad throwback. Like when he actually still made the throw, it was still a freaking ass throw. It was still a noodle arm, terrible throw. Like if you do the same thing to Lance and give him that terrible throw and he gets it and has time to throw, he probably hits Kittle in stride still because he actually has arm strength. It's ridiculous. It's four steps on Jamal Adams, and we already know Jamal Adams not good at coverage anyway. And then you underthrow it so bad, you make Jamal Adams look like he's freaking great, and he starts huffing and puffing that he made the play. I'm like, bro, our quarterback bailed you out because he can't throw.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, even if it's a better throw for Jimmy, he still doesn't make that throw.
Yeah.
Even on the touchdown pass, freaking Dwelly bailed him out, dude. It was a little freaking floater ball, and Dwelly straight up box out.
Yeah, it was
the corner, straight up box out, dude. Freaking center boxing out in basketball for the rebound and to get that ball. And Dwelly went up and got it, dude, because that was a little freaking little floater. I don't even know what the heck that throw was, because it should have been a freaking dart to Dwelly, but instead it was like floating, and Dwelly went up and got it. Mm-hmm. Luckily, Dwelly had great position, was able to box out the corner, but it just Jimmy's not making any throws. You're like, oh man, that was amazing, or oh, that was great. It's just, is he going to do enough to really get this offense going to score enough points? No. If you're going to ask me if he's going to,
we got our
every single drive, you're going to ask me, is Jimmy going to do it this time? I'm always just going to say no and see if he proves me wrong.
Yeah. We got our boy Matt saying Jimmy was trash. I mean, I think we all came to terms that this is just a factual thing now, He can't.
I mean,
can't help us. He can't help us. The past
he's been trash.
2-3 weeks.
He's been trash. Even in the wins, he's been trash. It's just some of us are willing to say it, and others just don't want to admit it. I don't get it.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been trying to give him time and time again a chance to prove all of us wrong, but he's still doing the same shit over and over again.
You've been the most positive guy in the whole chat. Trying to keep that little sliver of hope, and the rest of us are like, no, it's done. We're over it.
Hunk Fat, how's it going, man? He says Trey needs to remain under center. I think all of us have come to terms that we all agree on this.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, I think we all knew that whenever he did finally get in there, he wasn't getting out. The thing is, too, though, is now we're hearing that Jimmy's out a couple weeks, regardless with his injury, and has to have an MRI, and they don't know if it's like serious or or what not. So either way, Trey's gonna play next week, and now that he's playing and Jimmy's hurt, Jimmy's not going back in.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us even said in the chat, we're like, oh, they're Kyle is saying that he's hurt, but I think we all thought he was for sure benched, but it actually did turn out that he did get hurt, and he might be out for a couple weeks from what Kyle said in the press conference. So, I mean, if that's the case, dude, honestly, we get to see how Trey looks the next couple weeks, and if he looks great, then I think they might stick with him the rest of the season, to be honest.
Well, he didn't look terrible today, and that was without an offense, set up to run for him, without any real, practice time with the ones. So now
Yeah.
he's going to get a week with the ones and practice time, and he's going to have Kyle scheming for him. So it's going to look probably completely different. But just the
Yeah.
fact that we got a chance to see what Trey can do with his legs and what he can make happen in the pocket was enough for me to be excited. I mean, there was the one play where
Yeah.
he rolls out because the pressure's coming, and he's looking downfield, and doesn't stop looking downfield the whole time, and extends the play for way longer than it should have been. And there's nobody open, so what's he do? He takes it and runs it for 3-4 yards, and still gets a positive play out of a broken play. But the whole time, I'm like, dude, he's extending this play for so much longer, and we're not used to that. We're used to when it breaks down, it's the play's done. Jimmy either.
Well, it's just like I was just gonna say, it's just like what Matt and Zach were saying in their show earlier, that you wouldn't see Jimmy doing this, especially on a 3rd or 4th down and 10, where Trey Lance literally ran and got a nice first down for us, right?
He looked like a magic man in that pocket, dude. The way he's like ducking around stuff and everything.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 14-second play. See, that's what I mean, dude. Like, that's insane.
Matt said that was a 14-second. So
that is insane. Like, if that Jimmy's in that situation, he takes a sack. Lance gets out of the pocket when the wire collapses and keeps it going that long to make it a 14-second play, and gets positive yards out of it. Keeps his head downfield to the last minute to where he gets to the line of scrimmage and then takes off and runs. It's fantastic. And then there's the 4th and 2 play that Lance makes where he kind of does like a little spin out, and he's like trying to go and run for it, and he kind of jukes the guy, and then he's able to, after all that, still hit Debo for the first down. And it's like, dude, look how many options he gives you on those short yardage plays or on a 4th down where you really need it. Just because of the kind of player he is, rookie or not, especially compared to Jimmy, look how many more options you have to go and get that 4th and 2. He can try to run it. He can try to hit, he had the running back kind of following him, and then he's trying to get it with the run. He's trying to, maybe get somebody in the flat or extend the play and find somebody open, on the scramble drill on that 4th and 2. And it's like, dude, he opens up so much more just from the broken plays or whatever it may be. It gives you so many more options. You're not stuck like, oh, well, we can try a play action on 4th and 2 and see if Jimmy can find the open guy, or we can try and run it.
Well, I was gonna also say too is, and you notice when Trey was in, look how great, like you saw a difference. Look how great our running game was. Like it started picking up a lot more. Trey Sermon's getting more yards than usual when Jimmy was in there. I mean, it looked phenomenal. It had the
and the thing is too is you can tell the play calling wasn't for Trey, because like there was that one where Kyle calls that 4th down and it's like that end around to Debo that wasn't there. And you're like, well, you have Trey Lance in there. You can have so many different options, and you call that like that. That looked like a play called for Jimmy because Jimmy can't do anything. Not a play call you call for, call for Trey Lance. So, which I got really frustrated. I don't know if you saw my comment in the chat, but I was pissed when he called that play and we ended up not getting the first down. It's like, what is that play call? But I guess to be fair, it was they were prepared for Jimmy to be in there. So, Lance they were doing the best they could with Lance, with him, with what they had.
Matt says it the best. Wait, does the back have it? Lance, is he running, throwing? What's happening? Like it was nice to see that, honestly. And you don't see that much, especially for our team.
Yeah, seriously.
Having our
And it
Trey Lance in there as a mobile quarterback.
Yep. Well, I mean,
Helps.
Matt pointed it out in his podcast earlier on the first play that Trey's in there. I mean, the defensive end had no idea what he was doing, and then Sermon gets an 11-yard gain.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly what Matt just said there in the comment was what he said earlier. I mean, right off the bat, they don't know what they're doing because it's like, oh, well, we did. What do you do? So, and there's so many things he can do, and he's already showing he's such a good decision maker. I guess not. Well, I shouldn't say decision maker, but like he has a natural, instinct on things. So it just, how would I say that? I think I lost my train of thought, but just his ability to keep his eyes downfield, and then he could with being able to run, all the things he's doing. It gives you so much more things you can do where like the defense has to be worried because like my biggest thing was just seeing, how his natural ability to keep looking downfield as he's running. I'm like, dude, the fact that that's not something you have to worry about him learning, he just naturally can do that was amazing. I mean, yeah, he looks really raw and he's going to take some time, but some of the stuff that he can do already looks awesome.
Yep, exactly. Hung Fat says Kyle finally trusted Sermon and he looked good. Yeah, he definitely did. Especially, like I said, when Lance got in there, that whole running game just looked way better. Matt says he definitely aims to throw first and has the run in his back pocket.
That's what you want.
So, yep, exactly.
Well, you remember when I said it? I was going to say, remember when I was talking about in the chat too, like everybody's worried about Sermon and why we drafted Sermon and what's going on with Sermon. And I was like saying, well, maybe it's because Sermon is more of a back meant to be for Lance.
Yeah.
And you kind of saw that. You kind of saw that a little bit today. Yeah. Like the two of them are going to, I think, go hand in hand because Sermon can catch a ball out of the backfield too. So, which is going to help Lance too. But they just look like a pair made for each other. Mm-hmm. That's the way I was seeing it, and it kind of looked like it a little bit that way. So I think if Lance is in there, I think Sermon's going to play better.
Yeah. We got Melissa in the chat saying, love the hype guys, all rocking jerseys tonight. Thanks, Melissa. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm rocking the 1990s Montana
Lance,
right here.
Ready for Lance.
90s Montana.
Hung Fat says, why do people defend Jimmy so much?
Because he's a nice guy and he's a man dime. That's why.
Yeah. Well, it's just like what I don't know who said it. Somebody said in Zach and Matt's show that Jimmy is a class act. So I mean, you hate to see it happen to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he is a class act.
Yeah,
and then he's like the best looking guy in the whole league. So that's probably a part of it too.
Yeah. Once it goes, it's goddamn awesome. But yeah, I mean, you hate to see it, but I mean, eventually we were going to move on from Jimmy, especially after drafting Trey Lance. But just the way he's taking it so far and everything, he's being a great teammate, and he's taking it with like a great attitude. So, I mean, you like to see that with your other teammates and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, and then like I did watch his the press conference, and it seemed like he was pretty upset about his injuries, not even about his play or anything, just that he is injured again. I think part of it is because he's just tired of being injured, but the other part is he probably knows that his career in San Francisco is over.
It's getting, yeah. He did say like he's tired of getting hurt all the time, and I mean I don't blame him, but I mean, what do you like? This is what 3 years in a row now. It's not just Jimmy, but like a lot of our guys getting injured. Like, what the hell? What do you think? What the problem is?
Just bad luck, man.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just it's just bad luck. But a lot of our offense, dude, it's because Jimmy puts our guys in such a terrible position and they get injured. Like Kittle, I don't know how Kittle's still alive after today.
Yeah, that too. Dude,
I mean, Jesus,
I don't know how Kittle walked off after that hit. Honestly,
dude,
Melissa said Jimmy isn't a nice guy or a class act. He threw his O and coach under the bus last week. He keeps taking advantage of Kittle, trying to make the most of his throws and getting him drilled. And then Matt said the fact that Kittle had to deal with another hospital ball, god damn. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought we lost Kittle after that play, dude. Honestly,
dude, like, do you hear the announcer? He's like, "Oh my God, Kittle must be made of Gumby." He's like, they called Kittle Gumby because it's like, I mean, I don't know how he got off of that, but Melissa makes a good point saying that Jimmy isn't a nice guy because of all the throws that he puts his receivers in such a terrible position.
It's true. It doesn't matter what receiver it is. It doesn't matter what I talked about this last week. His accuracy sucks. I don't know what he needs to do, but dude, it's been 4 years since
it's not going to change, bro.
It's still the same thing.
He's in year 8. It's not going to change. He is who he is.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic when the run game is so good that the play action is always open and he can make the throw because they're wide open.
Yeah.
That's what Jimmy is. That's why in 2019 Jimmy looked so good because we literally ran the ball over, just demolished everybody with the run game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Melissa said, I hope Trent and Javon is only cramps because of the heat. I think it is. Trent was holding his arm. So I don't know if it's his elbow, like the announcers were saying, or what, but hopefully everything's all right.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it sucks, but I mean, what? Honestly, at least with him being out, the one thing you can take away from it with like it sucks about him being out, but at least it's Lance that's in there because Lance can escape the pocket. With no Williams, then Jimmy's screwed.
Yep. And Matt said cramps were a big factor. It was a hot day in Santa Clara. Yeah, it was. Dude, I was even looking at the weather today. It was like 97 degrees over here in Gilroy.
That is way too hot.
For sure, like at least 95 in Santa Clara.
Way too hot for the Bay Area in October. That is insane.
Dude, you're telling me, bro. You wonder why we don't get rain.
Oh, I know, dude.
We never get rain.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like, but yeah, like that's the thing with Kinlaw too. Kinlaw was fine. He just cramped up too. It makes sense with the heat and stuff, and especially like you wouldn't think it to be that kind of the weather to be like that in October. You know, it should be a nice, cool, breezy day in October. So it makes sense that they were getting cramps because of the fact that, you know, you don't expect the weather to be that way this time of the year.
It was hot today, man. Really hot. Hung Fat says if they recovered that onside kick, it would have been really interesting. I agree. I feel like Wisnowski kicked it a little too hard.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I know. I feel bad for the guy though, because he was just put in that position. Literally,
he did the best. He did the best that he could, but it would have been fun if we got that onside kick. Because I do think if we score the touchdown, we go for 2, and I think we get it. I think if we had scored the touchdown, we would have just won that 29-21 and ended it. But you know, because we're not taking the chance of missing the extra point anyway with having a punter kicking the ball. I think it would have been so much fun if we had actually got that onside kick.
So you probably agree with me too, but I feel like if they would have went for that 2-point on the first touchdown for Lance, I think it would have been even more interesting too. I feel like it probably would have been a lot closer than just a touchdown.
You
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hunk Fat says Trey converted that 2-point conversion so easily. I know that thing. Dude, it
Dude,
was
he
so easy.
walked in the end
He
zone.
walked in.
Up
It was
the middle.
crazy.
He walked into the end zone up the middle.
Hey, honestly, I have a feeling he would have done the same thing with the last touchdown. To be honest.
Oh, he would have probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was because like I said in the group chat, I'm like, I'm not ready for him yet and all that stuff, but I had to take it back after what I saw.
Dude,
I am ready to see him for sure.
he didn't look like oh my god, amazing, but he did some nice things that make you excited for what's to come, and that's what matters. Like he did some things that we haven't seen in a while. Escapability since Kaepernick. So so and we haven't really been able to enjoy that kind of play for a long time. So it's really exciting to see what his potential can be. And once he kind of figures it out as a passer, it's only going to get better. I mean, I think the more we kind of like put runs in a run game with that's set up for him, the run game's going to, I think, be fantastic with him in there. And then just, dude, he's going to be, you think about all these times we just have 3 and outs or we just have stuffed drives. He's going to extend so many drives just because of his legs.
Yeah.
So many of those drives are we're coming off the field and us fans are just so pissed that we're just doing nothing and stagnant. It is not going to feel that way. Even if Lance is struggling at times, he's going to extend plays and extend drives with his feet.
Yep. I totally agree.
So he showed me enough to be excited, and I like that when he was throwing the ball, he wasn't shy. I mean, he was trying to fire it in there as hard as he could, and like if our receivers made some crazy catches, it could have been nice, like that one to Debo. I think that he tried to force in there and hit Debo in the hands, and it just the defender kind of came and the defender came and kind of knocked it out. And the same way one with Kittle, he's trying to freaking throw that. He's trying to throw it on a rope already.
And you know what's funny too?
Beautifully to Kittle. It just the way that Kittle was covered, he couldn't make the catch. But I mean, he's not shy.
Yeah. What I was gonna say too is that one to Kittle in the end zone. Kittle could have caught it, but I hate how Jamal Adams tried to act like he did freaking something when he didn't. Honestly, when he's like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like when they celebrate and shit, I'm just like, dude, get out of here. But Matt says that 4th and 10 was money. I was like, yeah, definitely,
dude. That play alone just gets you excited.
Yeah, you're just like because you don't see that with Jimmy. Like I said before, you don't see that with Jimmy. Trey Lance's legs helped that drive for sure.
Well, you think? Okay, think about it. Yeah, it's 4th and 10, but think about in plays to come when it's 3rd and 10, right? And obviously the defense is going to be trying to prevent you from throwing it past the sticks, and you add that extra element with him being able to run. I mean, now we don't always have to feel so, but like, oh, it's a 3rd and 10. Oh man, good luck getting this first down. Now we're like, oh, anything could happen. And you're kind of more on the edge of your seat, even though it's a 3rd and 10, because his ability to make plays. That 4th and 10 might have been the most exciting play he had, just because he made something out of nothing and got the first down. And you're like, oh man, this is going to be something we haven't seen in such a long time. And it's like, bring it on. I don't even care if we lose a bunch of games this year.
Well,
it's going to be fun to watch.
And knowing that they do like to go on like 4th and 1s as well, that's going to be a big factor too, helping us, and so that's going to be interesting to see. Melissa said, I didn't listen to the pressers because they pissed me off lately, but if it's true that there was helmet issues that makes Trey scrambling, running, and making plays on his own, very impressive. Was there?
First off,
were they having trouble?
That's what I heard. But first off, who the hell let Bill Belichick in the stadium? Why? That should be the first question when there's issues with the headsets. Where the hell's Bill?
And then she also said, plus, unlike most of the rookie or second-year quarterbacks, he didn't play hero ball, throwing crazy interceptions, letting the frustration set in.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't trying to force it. He
It's
was
true.
trying to find the right throw, like the way he kind of like the one where he tried to make something happen, and if he had just let it go a little bit sooner, Sanu was wide open and it got tipped. But he's not. He wasn't trying to, create like force balls. Yeah, he threw some tough contested balls, but he also threw them on the money right to the receiver's hands. So he wasn't like putting the ball in a lot of dangerous places.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And then Matt says, and if the fans are guessing, the defense is guessing too.
Oh, I mean,
exactly.
It's going to be very interesting.
Like here, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how exciting and interesting it's going to be to watch him against Arizona because, Arizona's going to be nervous because now they know like he's had all week with the first team offense. Kyle's, scripting play, making plays for him, designing plays for him. You're gonna see the nervousness and the fear in the defense, and and he's our. I mean, having Lance in there anyway is our best chance, just because the way that Arizona's pass rush has been. They're going to be tough, and it's going to be tough to watch. It's going to be tough to beat them because of that pass rush, but he's going to be able to make plays happen even with that pass rush. So, I'm not saying we're going to win, but he's going to give us the best chance.
So, I'm not saying that they're probably not going to win either, but I think with Trey in there now too, and Arizona having such a good pass rush, I think our running game gets a bigger impact on this game than our passing.
With Kyle scheming for Trey, the running game is going to look probably a little bit different and better.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Hung Fat says Trey will get better with time, and this is true.
Definitely. Dude, the rookies, the other rookie quarterbacks are getting better each game. I mean, like, the drive that Mac Jones scored on,
dude,
he looked Zach Wilson pretty good. Yeah, Zach Wilson looked better today. Yeah. So like, even Fields had a better game than he did the game last week. I mean, the rookie quarterbacks are starting to slowly figure it out. They're getting better. Lawrence had a game without turning the ball over this week. It's just time. The more that they play and the more they get reps, the better they're going to be.
And the more they're going to get comfortable. Not being nervous all the time. Melissa says Buda Baker near Kittle makes me scared, especially after the hits today. But I also love that our Rook doesn't kill our guys like the 8-year vet who has been going against real NFL defenses for years.
Well, yeah, there's no reason to be scared about Buda Baker because Jimmy Garoppolo's not throwing him the ball.
Yeah, we have nothing to worry about next week because we all know now that Trey Lance is starting next week. So we should be all right for sure.
The only thing our receivers have to worry about when it comes to getting hurt is possibly breaking fingers from how fast Trey throws the ball.
Dude, that's like 95 miles an hour or something, man. It's like he's throwing a baseball.
I still don't know how, like on that fourth down, how Debo made that catch, dude. Because Lance was like, panicking, trying to make a play, and he just fires that ball as hard as he can at Debo. And Debo just has insane hands and makes a catch, and you're just like, dude, he throws it so fast. But it'll be nice on certain things. Like once he can. That's the thing is once he can kind of.
Look at what Matt put.
It's funny because I was literally just about to say, as soon as he can figure out the slants, he should be able to look. If he can figure out the slants, his freaking bullet ball should help him out a little bit more because it's better to throw more of a bullet ball on a slant. And he just seems now like he's trying to put a little bit of touch on the slants, and then the ball goes it sails. Like if he doesn't focus so much to put a little bit of touch on the slants because it's a closer throw, so he doesn't want to throw it as hard at their hands. But it's like, dude, just bullet ball it to him, and they should catch it.
Yep.
On a slant.
Yep. Totally
just lead him with a bullet ball and let him catch it because I think he's trying to be too. worried too much about the touch on those slants, and he's overthrowing them. I think he's overthinking them. Every time there's a slant call, he's overthinking it. He's overthinking it. I think that's why he keeps.
Is a bona fide wide receiver one.
He's a bona fide freaking best receiver in the league right now.
Debo is balling this year, man.
Oh, dude,
he came back this year, and he's like, dude, this is gonna be my freaking year.
Oh, dude, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if he's after the big game he had today if he's not back and leading in receiving yards, or at least up at the top 3.
Mm-hmm. Melissa says he never did handoffs or had a mic in the helmet before. He is doing fine with both. The slants will come.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be fine, dude. He's going to be a good quarterback in this league. So,
yeah,
I live, in Utah, and in my apartment building, because I live in Ogden, and that's where Weber State's at. And one of the Weber State players, he lives here, and I was just talking to him today during halftime because I had to go outside to take my dog to the bathroom, and he was telling me he played against Lance. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, he's like, Lance is insane. He's ridiculous. And, he made a good point too. He's like, because there, I think it's FCS FCS schools. He's like, there's guys in FCS that try 4 years to get into the NFL. And Lance played for 1 year and made it into the NFL. And I'm like, dude, you couldn't have put it in a better way. Like 4 years, FCS guys are trying to make it to the NFL, and Lance played 1 year in the FCS and got drafted number 3 overall.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was pretty cool just to hear from somebody who's actually played against him, and just said like he's amazing, and he's going to take some time to adjust in the NFL. But when he does, it's gonna be fun, and we're just gonna be along for the ride. Like,
yes,
what if we lose? So what if we lose games this year? Screw it. I'm just gonna go along for the ride and enjoy watching the rookie grow. And then when next year comes around, I'm gonna be excited because, for one, now we got a quarterback that attracts free agents. Because Jimmy ain't no quarterback attracting no free agents on the offensive side.
Yeah, well, also too, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not giving up on the season quite yet. If Trey could win a game next week against Arizona, who's literally the only undefeated team left in the division, I'm kind of excited to see what he brings the rest of the season. To be honest,
I
think he could possibly get it done for us.
I'm not saying I'm going to win the season. I'm just saying I don't, because the rookies playing. I don't care if it's a lost season. I'm just kind of excited, but we could still win some games. I mean, he could take off and we can win some games because we have a lot of talent on the offense. But it's like that's the reason. Normally after a loss like today, I have a crap ton of anxiety and I'm just pissed, and I wasn't feeling any anxiety at all or that pissed because the rookie was in there and he was excited, and that was what I was more excited about, to see what he was doing and excited about the possibilities. So it's kind of nice. Yeah. Like, I want to win, but I feel like now with him in there, I can kind of enjoy the season and kind of just coast and enjoy it as somebody who just loves to watch the game of football and not have to be stressed the whole season. And if we win, great. If we don't, it is what it is. It's going to be nice to kind of just enjoy it.
Yeah. So Melissa brings up a great point. She says, do you either of you think there is a kicker we can bring in? Which is weird because Robbie Gould has a groin injury before the game even starts. You think it's time to get rid of him and just bring in another kicker for the rest of the season?
I mean, he's old, so yeah, it probably is. But I mean, are we gonna? Hopefully we can find a decent kicker. I don't know what's out there right now, but
I don't know.
Hopefully we can find a decent kicker, as long as it's not Nick Folk, though. Just don't bring that guy in. Don't bring
For
that
real.
guy in. Mr. I don't know if anybody watches Chiseled Adonis on Twitter, but Mr. Put your motherfucking head back down. Better not be anywhere near the Niners.
Yeah. Matt says, I just think that Jimmy left too much on the table. I agree. If Russ is working underneath 14-0 or 21-0, it paints the game in a different complexion. Totally agree.
Exactly, because if you think about the way the first half worked, the whole reason we were doing so well, and I think stopping them, is because they were, they started to panic and felt like they had to throw the ball to stay in the game and weren't running it.
Mm-hmm.
And once they kind of started to realize, the Niners offense is terrible. We don't have to pass to stay in the game. We can run it now. And they started running a little more. Things started to change. But if you freaking put up 21 points, then the defense would have just kept doing to Seattle's offense what they did in the first half in the second half, because Seattle's trying so hard to come back and they have to pass every down, and when they have to sit when Wilson has to drop back every down, he gets sacked and hit a bunch. Yep. I think if we put up 21 points, this game's completely different. Seattle doesn't even try to run the ball, and then we just go and wreak havoc on Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Matt's 100% right. If you put up the points, exactly what happened in the first half continues to happen in the second half. But because we just laid an egg on offense after the first drive, that's why it can. The fact that we couldn't keep putting points on the board completely changed the game.
Yeah, exactly. We got Melissa here saying, so with Mitchell listed with shoulder, does that mean the knee is okay? Is he closer to playing? Did he have a knee injury also? I just thought it was shoulder.
Just the shoulder. It's from that. Yeah. It was from the goal line.
It's just the
somehow.
stinger.
It's the shoulder injury he had on that goal line play where they didn't give him the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being just worse than we thought.
And then Melissa also says, do you guys think Cannon should be taken off after those two kicks? Yes, I think so, honestly.
I mean, honestly, when you make those kind of mistakes, I like Cannon. He gives us our best chance to make to spark on a return. He's that's what he did it against Green Bay, but you kind of lose your spot when you make those kind of mistakes. So yeah, he probably should, and then maybe he can work his way back to it. But yeah, I mean, you kind of deserve to lose your spot when you make those kind of mistakes. Like, you shouldn't be making those mistakes. Like, if he just stays down after the first time and doesn't get back up, dude, this game could be completely different.
Yeah, well, he had the two fumbles, right? And then also too is when they kicked off again, he was going to let it go, and he thought it was going to go into the end zone, and it didn't, and that cost us to be on the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
right?
that means
so.
I mean, that's just kind of unlucky when you think about it. It's a bonehead play, but that's just kind of unlucky. It was like right there to go in the end zone, dude. It was like a couple inches away. It was pretty close, like maybe a foot away. So like, yeah, I think he was doing it because he didn't want to mess up again, and he was in his own head. But that was just unlucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Melissa did say, I guess it was both when they left Philly.
I don't remember hearing about any injury. I don't think that's even an issue. I think it's just I think it's just the shoulder. But if he doesn't come back, against Arizona, he'll be back against the Colts. So he'll be back in there.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to get the speed back. So
yeah. Matt says that one was bad luck. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. See. That's exactly what that one was. I don't blame. I don't even blame him for what happened in the other kick. I don't blame him for just trying to let it go, and it just unluckily didn't go in the end zone.
Yeah, and then Hung Fat says Trey strikes fear into the heart of defenses,
especially in the red zone. Green Bay panicked in the red zone when he was in there. Week 1, The Lions panicked in the red zone when he was in there and he threw a touchdown. On that 2-point conversion we got, the Seahawks defense looked panic and he just walked into the end zone. Dude, we're going to be good in the red zone. We just are with him. We're going to be one of the best red zone teams in the NFL throughout the rest of this year.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, if we can get into the red zone, I feel like we're going to score. It's just we have to be able to sustain drives and get there.
Yeah, I agree. Melissa asked, thoughts on Aziz play. Please personally like him, but I missed the Hawks there. Big play, Dre. I thought he had a decent game today. I mean, he was all over the field, I feel like.
Aziz gets sideline to sideline amazingly quick, and he gets in the backfield to make tackles for loss. He's amazing. I can't say anything bad about him. Yeah, I want to have Dre back too, but I mean, you can't take away from Aziz because he just he gets in that backfield so fast, and he always makes tackles. He doesn't miss.
Yeah, he had six tackles and 1 tackle for loss.
Yeah, dude, he's fantastic, and I want Dre back for obviously his coverage skills. But you know, he'll come back later in the season, and I don't think we're hurting in the linebacker position. It's just the corners. So whether it's Aziz or Greenlaw, either way, I mean, we're not hurting at that position.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt goes, how Jimmy G is Mac Jones right now.
Dude, Mac Jones has looked better today than Jimmy G did.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually standing in the pocket and making some decent throws. And accurate ones in the rain.
That's true. Yeah. Melissa says Pete Carroll is going to be stuck with that jaw drop look with Murray, Stafford, and now Lance.
Oh man, dude, Carroll knows he got away with one today.
Oh yeah, easily. The shark injury is the killer.
Shark injury? What?
What's I didn't even hear about this one.
Who's?
I don't know. But Matt said he's 15-20 with 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
It's not.
That's a Jimmy special.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I turned it on late. And I did see him when they scored. He looked good on that drive, but
yeah, I was just gonna. So Matt and Melissa clarified. It was K1. Talk about last week when
he's always injured though.
Yeah, that's a big loss for sure.
Yeah, it's a loss, but Lenore's done his job, so it's not. It's the outside corners that we really need to worry about. That's the problem. Like Lenore, I think can play inside, can play the nickel. It's just that, dude. I mean, we just don't have anybody we can trust on the outside corners. I mean, you can trust Emmanuel Mosley; he's fantastic, but that's it. If Norman can come back healthy, then I feel okay with Mosley and Norman in there. And Lenore too. It's just the uncertainty at the corner position is killing us. Like we need to make a trade.
We need to do something because we need help in that backfield for sure. The one I do want to say though that had a good game today is Emmanuel Mosley. He had a really good game. He was making big plays for sure.
He's a fantastic corner when he's healthy. He just is. It's just if he can stay healthy. He's a very good corner.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. 90 Till says Norman will be back in a game or two.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I mean, if he can stay healthy, come back and stay healthy. I mean, I think he's done pretty well when he has played. And I think with him and Mosley, I feel better at the corner position, but I still think we need to get at least one more. I mean, just go and trade for Stephon Gilmore. I don't understand. Just do it.
Yeah, just take the chance on it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Melissa said, I was never a fan of KB, but so happy these receivers stepped up. This is the most secure I felt with that position in a very long time.
So when you say KB, you mean Kendrick Bourne?
We know you were a big KB fan.
Dude, the guy was a freaking always there in the red zone. He was our best red zone threat, and the guy freaking was never hurt and caught a lot of balls. And he was our third down guy and our red zone guy. He was fantastic. He was Jimmy's blanket on third down and Jimmy's blanket in the red zone. And he never got hurt. He was always healthy.
Right.
I will never not be a freaking Kendrick Bourne guy because he is amazing. He stays healthy. He's really good. He gets open on third down and he gets open in the red zone. And that you couldn't ask for more.
Oh my God. So Melissa said, I also like that Trey will have some legit game time before Colts, D, and Bears in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts and the Bears have been kind of underperforming on the defensive side this year. I mean, we'll just kind of have to see. Just good defenses are always going to struggle against a mobile quarterback anyway. But yeah, it'll be nice. The thing is, I mean, the Arizona's defense is probably the best of the three right now. So,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, everybody thought that the Rams were just all, hot shit, and then freaking the Arizona's defense took that shit and threw it right back in their face.
They got destroyed today.
I want to watch that game because I want to watch
silence Matthew Stafford.
I want to watch and see if the corners and the DBs for Arizona, if they were really physical with the receivers for the Rams. Because if that's the case, I'm just gonna laugh at that. I don't know if that's the case because everybody's saying, "How do you stop them?" I'm like, well, physicality.
Yeah.
So I would like to see if that's was the difference in that game, and they were just being so physical with the Rams receivers, or if it was just Arizona's pass rush.
Melissa put, I will never forgive him for needing Ricky Ayuk and Ricky Debo to put him in correct place, especially before the huge 4th and 2 Kittle made to help win Saints game.
I mean, so if he made a bonehead play and then you never forgive him, even though, especially in that 2019 run, he was a big part of getting open on third downs and being that security blanket for Jimmy many, many times. And especially in the red zone too, he was always there in the back of the end zone open. Like, I'm not going to lie, Jimmy looked like a better quarterback when he was throwing to Kendrick Bourne. He just did. That was the receiver Jimmy clicked with.
Yeah. And
not having him, you can kind of see Jimmy looks worse than he did because of it. I could be wrong, but I just think Jimmy clicks so well with Kendrick Bourne, and I think Kendrick Bourne's a good receiver. Jimmy probably misses him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think he does miss him for sure. Melissa also says, do you think the glass comments for Kittle finally stop? I don't know what's worse, the hate he gets or Lance.
Well, the glass comments probably will just come from the Jimmy lovers because they'll keep saying it because they don't want to admit that Jimmy's the reason that he gets hurt in the first place. I mean, he got hurt last year in week 2. Why? Was it last year or I think it was when he got or week 1. Was it week 1? Week 1 against Arizona because why? What did Jimmy do? He threw it high Kittle went up and got it, and
Last year?
and Buda Baker came down on his leg. When Kittle got hurt last year against Arizona in Week 1 by Buda Baker.
Talk about Garoppolo.
Garoppolo
Yeah,
threw a high pass to Kittle. Yeah, to Kittle. And Kittle got hurt because of the way Buda Baker hit him, but that was Jimmy's fault for being 5 yards away from Kittle and still overthrowing it.
Yep.
Kittle's not made of glass. He just he gets hurt a lot more often because, for one, he's in the trenches and because he's blocking a lot, which people don't understand that what it's like to be in the trenches all the time. And you're going to get probably more injuries from being in the trenches because you get rolled up on and all kinds of stuff. And then, he takes with Jimmy as his quarterback, he's taken an absolute beating because Jimmy puts the ball anywhere. So it's not that Kittle's glass. It's just, maybe with a different quarterback, he'll stay more healthy. The funny thing is too,
I think
Kittle looked better with Mullins and Beathard throwing on the ball than he has with Jimmy.
That's true. Yeah. Melissa says, my theory is not only the overthrows, but the overuse as a 6 O-line offensive lineman is taking a toll on Kittle.
And it might be taking a toll on Kittle, but it's not going to change because Kittle loves it. He loves it more than pass catching. You can see it in his face. You can see it.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He smiles every time.
He's a corn-fed boy from Iowa.
Yeah.
He loves that rough and freaking, get dirty freaking kind of style. He's a corn-fed boy from Iowa. That's exactly the kind of guy he is. He's tough. That's what he wants to do. Like, he's never going to stop doing that because it's his favorite thing to do. And yeah, it does beat him up a little bit, but you wonder why our run game is so good and our run game on the outside is so good? Do you know why that is? Kittle is a huge reason our zone run game is so good.
As I said, he broke the record with Mullins and almost beat Sharp's single game in one half. That is unreal. He is the best tight end.
He is. Like, you could say, Kelsey's the best pass catching tight end, but all around tight end, being able to block and catch, it's Kittle. It's just Kittle doesn't always have the stats because of everything else Kittle does. But Kittle's also hasn't had the quarterback play that Kelsey's had in his career. He had Alex Smith when Alex Smith was playing fantastic. Then he goes and has, the gunslinger Mahomes. So what has Kittle had? CJ Beathard, Mullins, 1 season of Jimmy.
Yep. 90 Till says, so relieved the Jimmy era is over.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. It's going to be
I'm
interesting
hoping
to see how the rest of the season plays out.
I'm hoping we finally found our best quarterback since Steve Young. I'll tell you that. That's what I'm hoping.
I hope so too.
I'm hoping that we finally found our best quarterback since Steve Young. I know it's too early to say, but that's what I'm hoping. I'm glad Jimmy's gone, and I'm ready to do it. And I can't wait to see what's to come.
Melissa says, I'm curious, do you guys hold it against him and he won't get surgeries on the labrum because he has seen the infections, setbacks, needed extra surgeries to his friend Trent Taylor and Gronk?
I mean, I don't hold it against him. I totally understand. I mean, he's taking what he knows from his friends and other people that have dealt with the same thing. And he's making his best decision based off of that. Now if he was a quarterback, I'd hold it against him because if he had a labrum and injury as a quarterback and throwing the ball, he's going to need that surgery. But as a tight end, I mean, I got a messed up labrum. I can't even throw the ball without my shoulder hurting one time, but I'm not worried about having surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, my shoulder cracked so bad when I rotate it, and I didn't just make one arm motion to throw, and my arm hurts instantly. My shoulder just hurts, like, in that instance. But I'm not getting surgery.
Yeah.
I play hockey now, and I have no issue. I mean, if it's not something that Kittle needs and it's not a necessity to fix it, then why fix it? Why fix it if you don't trust it in the first place?
Yeah, why try it? Yeah. Melissa says, do we see Sermon more at running back and less Juice running?
Sermon's going to be the starter from now on with Trey, and that's what they drafted him for. They drafted him for Trey.
Yeah.
100%. I've been saying it freaking for a few weeks now. I am 100% positive that they drafted Trey Sermon for Trey Lance because of the kind of player he is and the way that the two are going to work together. They just mesh, and I think that's what they had in mind when they drafted Trey Sermon was because they wanted him to be with Trey Lance. So like when Jimmy was in there and Trey wasn't getting time, that's what made sense to me. Because he's not the kind of running back for Jimmy. Jimmy needs guys that are fast.
Yeah, I agree. Matt says Sermon will start until Mitchell's ready.
I think when Mitchell comes back, they could be, they could be a 1-2 punch easily. They could share time.
Split it. Yeah.
But I think that's more if Jimmy's still in there than 100%. You think Mitchell's coming back, and starting when he's healthy. But now that Trey's going to be in there, it makes me wonder if it's still going to be Sermon, and then we're going to sprinkle in some Mitchell, because when you think about it, the way we run our offense when Jimmy's in there, it has to be all the the outside zone runs and stuff like that, and you got to hit it with the outside with speed, because that's what's going to get the play action going, which is going to help Jimmy. But we can do a lot more with Trey to where that doesn't have to be our only way to get the offense moving. So the running back situation kind of changes with Trey's in there, I think, where we don't need the speed all the time. I'd still like to see what the offense could look like with Trey, and then maybe Mostert in there at times if he comes back next year healthy, and see what happens with the speed. But I don't think we have to rely on the speed as much now that Trey's in there.
So Melissa asked us earlier, and I didn't get to it, but she asked, of our late rounders, Funga, Lenore, Mitchell, who surprised and impressed are you the most with?
Oh, Lenore, 100%
so far.
A corner out of Oregon, of all places. Yeah. Oregon's an offensive school. They're all about offense, and they're the offensive school, especially in the Pac-12, which normally is defense. Oregon's offense. So a corner coming out of Oregon as a late round pick, he's definitely surprised me the most. I never would have expected to see him play as well as he has. Because Hufanga, a safety coming out of USC, that he's doing exactly what he's as good as I would expect a safety coming out of USC to be. Because that's what USC does. They've given you two of the greatest safeties of all time in Ronnie Lott and Troy Polamalu. So, and then Mitchell surprised me for sure. But yeah, I'd definitely have to go with Lenore. What about you?
I would have to say Lenore as well, just because of how well he's been playing so far. There's a couple times where he does get beat out there, but other than that, he's been looking pretty phenomenal. I'm excited to see what the rest of the season brings for him, for sure.
Well, yeah, because you would think too, Ambry Thomas being picked in the third round, and being ahead of, picked ahead of Lenore, being from the Big Ten, which is known for defense. Too, you would think he would, have stood out and been been better than Lenore. But the fact that Lenore's been so much better, it just makes it so much more of a surprise. Because you don't know. For me, I don't know what I'm getting out of a corner from Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally agree. So definitely exciting to see what he's showed so far this season. And I'm excited to see more of him, for sure. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. I just want to, before we head out, we just want to go over about our sponsor. Tom, I know the game started already, but we're going to say it anyways. Tom Brady returns to New England for the biggest game of the year, and the stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're backing the Bucks or Pats this Sunday, it's more exciting. I got money on it at MyBookie. Get in on the action and take this game to a whole new level at MyBookie. Both teams are sporting top defenses, and nobody knows each other better than Brady and Belichick. Slow and steady will win this race. Smart money bets the under. Don't wait around. Join MyBookie now and bet on the biggest game of the season. Use my promo code HIVE and double your first deposit. Again, that's promo code HIVE to get double your first deposit with MyBookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Chatting with you guys, and we'll catch you guys for the preview of the Arizona game this week. All right. Peace out, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.